Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have an amazing panel coming up for you next, but before we do, we have a very special message from one of our sponsors, Mary Kay Global.
Hello, and welcome to the first International Glamhive Live Style and Beauty Summit, presented by Mary Kay Global Design Studio. Mary Kay and the Mary Kay Global Design Studio celebrate a world where beauty empowerment and fashion are synonymous. We champion creative industries that are diverse, inclusive, and innovative at their core. Through the Global Design Studio, we partner with exclusive fashion weeks around the world and collaborate with global designers to create and inspire beauty trends. In 1963, Mary Kay Ash launched her game-changing business, disrupting the idea of business as usual and turning the traditional workplace on its head. An iconic businesswoman, she dedicated her life to empowering women and putting them in control of their own futures. Today, we celebrate women and girls all over the world, empowering them, lifting their communities, and creating more sustainable educational opportunities. Empowering women is the key to the future, and through entrepreneurship, women can become powerful agents of change. I am thrilled to introduce the Unstoppable Ladies Who Lunch panel, where inspiring female founders will share their unique entrepreneurial journey. We will hear about success, failure, roadblocks, and their advice to women starting out. Thank you to the panelists for sharing your wisdom and inspiring others around you. And thank you to the attendees. We hope you enjoy this presentation and continue to dream and break barriers to create a better world around you.
Thank you, Mary Kay Global Design Studio, our presenting sponsor, and of course, Bulgari Hotels, who has helped us put on this incredible event here. Remember, you want this spa gift certificate. So please post, use the tag at Glamhive, at Mary Kay Global, at Bulgari Hotels, use the hashtag Glamhive Live, and we will be announcing the winner who will be selected at random at the end of the day. So as our video just said, we have an incredible panel coming up for you next. It is Unstoppable Ladies Who Launch. Please welcome to the stage Ruby Hammer, Colette Laxton, Glamhive's very own Stephanie Sprangers, and Kelsey Norris, who's going to be moderating this panel. Let's give them a big, warm welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hello, London. I'm Kelsey Norris, and it is with great pleasure that I get to be your host today for Ladies Who Launch. And can I just say, the energy in this room right now is so nice. So thank you all for bringing your passion and your curiosity to learn. So without further ado, these are the female entrepreneurs that will be speaking today. Will you ladies please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Hi guys, I'm Colette Laxton. I'm the CEO and co-founder of skincare brand The Stylist. We launched 3.5 years ago into the beauty industry. We're now, I think, top 10 brand in Sephora and the fastest growing skincare brand in Boots, which blows my mind every single day. Really excited to be here with you, and if there's one thing I will offer, it's transparency. So please ask any questions you've got.
Hello, I'm Ruby Hammer, and I'm a freelance makeup artist, and I'm still a jobbing artist. And I think people look at me in somewhere where they think I've been involved with quite a few brands, but at the moment it bears my own name, Ruby Hammer, and it's a very small capsule collection, but I've had the good fortune to wear many hats. So one, as a jobbing makeup artist, two, sort of behind the scenes of other brands. Like me and my ex-husband brought Aveda to this country. We had something called L'Occitane we helped launch. We had something called Mr. Mascara. There are many, many other things that I've done behind the scenes for other brands. And then one of my ones that people would remember from 20 years ago is Ruby and Millie, which was a huge brand at Boots, and it was a collaboration with them. And the weird thing is, look, when you sit and chat with people, the things that come out the woodwork, and one of them is that Colette here, years ago, used to actually look after the Christmas gifting on our brand Ruby and Millie all those years ago. So look, I've known her for many years, but it only just came out here in your forum. So that's wonderful. But my collection is small now. I'm a founder, artist, and I'm the same as Colette. We're here for transparency and to help anyone, to just guide them from the pitfalls, or just to say, look at our journey, and if that helps you, then that's a wonderful thing, because we're here to empower women first, but actually all human beings. We're here to help anybody and anyone that asks for that help. So thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes, and I love that. I'm Stephanie Sprangers, and I'm the founder of Glamhive. And thank you guys for all saying yes and showing up. I think many of you may not even know what Glamhive really is, which I love that you're here. We started out as a virtual styling platform. So I wanted to enable people. I don't come from the style industry. I was in business development for tech companies for about 15 years. And I always would see women and men like you guys and think, God, they're so stylish. I wish I could look like that. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if you could just reach out to someone and easily hire them or work with them virtually anywhere in the world? And so I set about building a virtual styling platform that we still have, that we launched in the United States. And then, as I said, when we started the day, we had an idea to do a style summit, a style conference. And this has been, I think, the most magical thing of Glamhive, is being out in real life, not behind a computer, and really building the community of Glamhive. You guys are all such amazing creatives, such giving people, bringing such light and joy to the world, and really being of service to other people, which I love. So that's me, and I love this panel because entrepreneurship is the thing that I love most in life, at least when it comes to business, and helping people. I grew up with Oprah, watching Oprah live your best life. So I love helping other women and other people really go for their dreams. So thank you for coming.
We are going to have some fun today. I like that. So, Stephanie, we are here because of you. You had this idea. So can you tell us a little bit about that aha moment in starting Glamhive?
Yeah. So it actually started, and I do, and all of us, we love transparency. So it was in January of 2013 that I was in Paris and had been working for a bunch of tech companies. And I just decided I'm going to start my own company. And so I think that when I started, it was in 2013, and all of our passwords were Fly Private 2014. I'd worked for so many tech startups where we had already gone public and all these crazy things. And so I feel like for me it was more a decision than an aha moment where I just decided, that's it. I'm going to start my own company, kind of no matter what, because I'd been talking about it for a while. And so in 2013 is when I decided. I had never raised money. I had never done a pitch deck. I had seen tons of guys raise tons of money off of a pitch deck. I thought, I'll just be able to do that. That'll be no problem, which it was a problem. It was much more difficult than I thought. So it wasn't until 2015 that we raised a first round of funding. And it was a different idea. The company was called Glamhive, but it was more like an app where you could take a picture, tag what you're wearing, other people could buy it. And then I realized that it just didn't feel like enough. I felt like as much as I might like what someone's wearing, it might be out of stock, or it may not fit me, or it might look good on her but not on me. And so I started speaking to our users, which is what we call them, I guess, if you're ever in the tech world. And I was like, well, how are you actually really making money if it's not just posting photos and having people buy what you're wearing? And I really uncovered the stylist industry, where I realized that for a lot of stylists, people would reach out to you on Instagram and maybe DM you, and I don't know, do people do this? Raise your hand if people DM you and say, I love your style, I'd love to work with you. And so I thought, wouldn't it be great? Because how many people will really do that? Because it does take courage to DM someone. And so I thought, what if you could just go somewhere, push a button, add your credit card, and then hire that person? And so part of the decision was really following what would enable people and women like you to make money, versus just making commissions, I guess. So we set about building the platform. So I think it was a series of aha moments, and that's the thing I've learned the most, is you make a decision, and then you just go for it. And now it's almost been 10 years. I'm like, I've lost a decade of my life. But then you kind of have aha moments along the way, And then in many ways, you just kind of follow the breadcrumbs. So I love these events because it's when I get to actually see the people that I'm usually emailing or seeing on Instagram. But I feel like in 2019, when we did our first event in Los Angeles, it was just as magical for me because we were like, people love this. They love talking. I love this. And then when we went to digital, because of the pandemic, everyone was stuck at home. And so we did like 6 digital events. So every little thing led to the next thing. And even so much as to like 3 days ago, I'm like, guys, I can't believe we're in London. Like, how do we even make this happen? But you just kind of keep following like the Hansel and Gretel, like the breadcrumbs. And then eventually, I think it enables it to grow. So, but always thank you for saying yes, because any part of entrepreneurship is other people saying yes to your idea. And it's a very scary thing, because I think I broke down in tears 2 days ago. I'm like, what if no one shows up? Or, it's a scary thing. But then you just do it anyway.
So, Colette, you have gone from working at Boots to building your own brand. What are some of the risks that you've gone through, and how have you risen to the occasion every time?
I think every single day is a risk, and those little aha moments, every time you decide, okay, this is what I'm going for, you might fall flat on your face. And I think that's the biggest thing. You kind of have to leap despite that. So when I took the leap to go from being in kind of corporate world to starting something new, it was really important that it was based on a real clear why. Because I think if you're really clear on why you're doing something, you can have the courage and conviction to kind of see that through. I think the biggest issue I faced, and something I had to get over really early, was I was in a room of males. So when pitching for investment and getting the first investment round, there was 8 men around a table and me, and I was 31 years old. And I felt I had imposter syndrome. I just didn't think I should be there. And for me, the biggest hurdle and an issue I faced was myself, because no one was paying attention to me. No one really valued what I had to say. But if I didn't stand up and shout even louder, no one was going to pay attention. So I think that was the biggest kind of issue I faced early on, and something I had to really kind of push through myself. And then everybody's saying no, because most people do say no, and you have a brand, or you have an idea, or you have your own personal brand that you're trying to build, and most people are going to tear you down. Like, it's reality. No one's going to be there going, yeah, come on, let's do this. You have to be that person yourself.
Your mum might.
My mum's here. I haven't seen my mum in a while, so I was like, Mum, come along. My mum never comes to these things, so hi, Mum. Yes, Mum is always there. Did you know she was there?
No.
Yeah, most people
But I'm
do
saying
say
to you
no.
that's part of what you have to know, that say the people that you're asking for money, there's all different criteria for it, but your husband, your boyfriend, your family, your sister, they all say yes, your friends say yes, but you need to know that they're not the ones that are, maybe some of them are the angels that put their hands in their pocket, but you hear a lot more no's than you hear the yes. So that's why I just said it off the cuff. Your mum would.
Yeah, I once said to someone, I think the goal is, how many no's can I get this week? When I was trying to make myself feel better. I'm like, I'm not even going to worry about yeses. Like, I said this to my CTO at the time, Dylan. My goal is to get 20 no's this week. And he's like, that's great. I'm like, yeah, all right. Well, I have 5. So I need like 15 more.
I love that.
So, Ruby, you come from a beauty background as well, and being the powerhouse that you are, your contribution to the world, when people work with you, they leave feeling more beautiful and more confident with your products. So what was the beginning of your career like, and what has your journey been?
Well, the funny thing is I've had a long career, so it's about, I'm actually an economics graduate, so we were immigrants in this country. My late father was a doctor, and we were on vacation here, not very far from around here. We were on holiday, and originally I'm from Bangladesh, so that was known as East Pakistan. So we had no TV growing up, no anything, just watching Bollywood movies and no whatever. So we were vacationing. Next minute we know, my dad has left Africa. I was born in Nigeria. He's left Africa. We're here on vacation. He's got no job back there, and there's a civil war starting where we were heading to. So that is very relevant to the things you see in the news now. So we are not refugees as such, but we're just stuck here. But luckily, we had some money. My dad had some income. So we'll go next month. In the end, that was 48 years ago, we're here. So as immigrants, you have to, it wasn't pushed creatively or entrepreneur side or anything like that. It was, you just have to get your education. And for my father, basic education is to university level. So I'm an economics graduate, which some people know, some people don't know. When I finished university, I then met my first husband just by fluke, and his best friend was a makeup artist. And that's how I started assisting her, and that's how my life took a tangent. You know, it wasn't what, you know, I'd have been a lawyer or I'd have been working for the diplomatic corps or something like that. And it took off like that.
It was really through a natural connection
It
you
was
found
just
your
a
way.
fluke. So what you guys have to understand is not everyone has a game plan. Life, sometimes you have to just be open to the possibilities. And I always give this example when I speak to anyone. I say, look around you and look at nature. Is nature the same every second, every moment? No, it has distinct seasons, and even within those seasons, days change. They're fine, mute things. So you need to know that it's nice to have a plan, but if you're open to suggestion and willing to go with it, when things came my way, I took them. And I just thought, well, let's see how far we get. Touch wood, I've got quite far because of my own intention or my own resolve. But I've been lucky. Well, thank you, thank you. Some of it is definitely some of that, and I've worked hard on it. Some of it is the willingness, you know, for people to back you, to see, for you to keep trying, and to say thank you. I've been lucky, I do work hard, I've met nice people, and you take that and you go with it. It's a baton that's handed to you. Don't throw it down and waste it. Take it and do something. If you don't want it, give it to somebody else that can make use of it.
I love what you said about keep trying, because you know, part of what I shared is how we pivoted the company. And I think that it was probably 2016, I don't know, I can't remember what year it is. I think that year I just felt like such a failure for an entire year, but I was unwilling to give up. And so, you know, I think I felt like, I love that you said keep trying, because I think what people say now is like, I can't believe you haven't given up. And it's like, but you can't give up, because if you, and that's why it's important to really decide something, whatever it is. I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna do whatever it is you're gonna do. You just, there's a day you make a decision, and then you kind of don't have to worry about that decision anymore. But and I love what you said about how people back you, because I think I felt like people backed an initial idea, and that idea didn't work. And so then I'm a failure. But really what people backed was me, and the fact that I wouldn't give up. And so, I mean, there's still like so far to go with this whole thing. But the keep trying part is really important. And to know that, and actually now I feel like, I remember I gave this talk once, and it was about fail fast. Some tech guy was like, fail fast. I'm like, I'm not failing fast, I'm not failing at all. But the fact is, you do have to fail fast, because you want to be able to just move on when something's not working. Yeah, so but I love the keep trying. That's a great one.
And you have to keep trying. That's not just in entrepreneurship or launching. Just as human beings, we've born, and you know what? We're going to leave this planet. We're going to leave this earth for different people, for different reasons. Until then, you are obliged to do the best you can and keep trying, because that is part of the lesson of life.
And then you end up doing Sharon Stone's makeup, and then you're like on a journey. Keep going.
It's all a journey. So I'm just saying that whether it's in styling or in fashion or in beauty or whatever, you're in banking, you're a lawyer, all of this life is a journey, and you've got to do the best. Each individual has something unique to bring here. Collectively, we become a group like we're sitting here, but in the end, the obligation is to do the best you can and never, ever, ever give up.
And how empowering is it now, being in a room where you are the female entrepreneur in a room full of maybe men, or however things used to be? And what is that feeling like now when you're at the top of your game and you're going for it?
I don't know if you feel like you're at the top of your game, if I'm completely honest. Even being stood up here, you know, I would say any of you could be up here. Not sure you ever feel like you really have it all together. And the one piece of advice to these guys, I've got one mentor that said, stay in the game. And I was like, okay, cool. No, stay in the game. And like when you literally feel like you're about to fail. I've had like a day in bed before where I've just cried, like literally put the duvet over, and like, I can't do it. I literally cannot do this anymore. I can't do it. and then you give yourself a minute, and then you get out of bed and you have a shower and you do it and you stay in the game. So I just want to add that because it's not always easy to show up and be your best self and carry on, and like it's really difficult, like irrelevant of
I'm
your
going to
career.
interrupt Colette and say, keep trying is just another word of what she's just said. Stay in the game. So today I feel depressed. I can't pull the duvet over yourself. And do you know what? Tomorrow the sun will rise. You will take a shower. So it's the same thing. And again, I'm looking to nature. It plows on. It shifts. It changes. That's what we have to do. We're not robots.
Stephanie, how do you overcome any setbacks or challenges that you face?
It's like daily. You know, the funny thing is I don't even think I know anymore, because now I just feel like I remember we did our second, we were one of the first, so when the pandemic hit, we were going to do an event in Los Angeles or New York, I can't remember, and then, you know, because we all thought it was going to be 3 weeks, right? I mean, that's what they were telling us in the United States, like 3 weeks. How are we not going to see each other for 3 weeks? And so I called up Tara Swennen, who is a celebrity stylist, and said, hey, we should do a digital summit. And this is why I just love everyone involved with Glamhive, Nicole and Jack and everyone, because I'm just this person that would fly to LA and be like, I have this idea, do you want to be part of it? And I can't even believe the people who have said yes. It's crazy. So I said to Tara, we should do a digital summit. And she's like, what's a digital summit? I'm like, I don't know, but we'll just get 30 people to speak and it will be on the internet, and I don't know. And then Jack's like, you guys, you'll see. I didn't even know what a digital summit was. And then Tara got, so Tara Swennen just was named again one of Hollywood's 25 most powerful stylists. She styled Kristen Stewart for Spencer, and she's just an amazing person. But she said yes. So she got 75 people to speak at our first summit. It was great. And then we need to do another one because this pandemic's going to be over, and that was great. Let's do another one. I said, Tara, we can't have 75 speakers. It has to be less. Lynn, our producer, is going to kill us. And mind you, everyone's at home, right? You're not sitting in a room with anyone. She ended up recruiting 145 speakers. It was insane. And then because everyone in the Valley was funding these tech startups building new virtual event platforms, everyone's in their house. The whole thing crashed. Tara and I did our opening. She's in LA, I'm in Seattle, and we're smiling, and then the phone just started blowing up. Everyone's texting, nobody knows what's going on. 145 speakers. The whole thing crashed. We got it back up at noon. My family was like, are you okay? I'm like, I just have no time to even speak right now. So then I remember we're fine, as long as it gets back up, no problem, we'll just start at noon. And then the whole thing ended, and I was alone in my office, and then I thought, what if it didn't record? Because most people had already bailed by then, because they're like, I'll just catch the recording. And so then Monday morning, Lynn called, and she's like, okay, everything is fine, but I have to tell you, it didn't record. And I was like, okay, so what are we going to do? And she's like, we're just going to redo the day. And I was like, emailed 145 speakers like you guys. We just need to re-record it. We had like 85, 86 people that got back on. Brian Underwood was like, good morning, everyone. We're broadcasting live. It was like days later. Meanwhile, we decided to do beauty boxes. So I had about $90,000 worth of product arriving at my door every hour. I was like literally thinking to the UPS guy, just please don't turn in. I had boxes in my garage. I could have made $1 gazillion selling it on Amazon. But it was just like failure. Yeah, right, sorry guys. That I think is the one that blew my mind the most, and I thought, I don't care anymore. We're just gonna keep plowing forward.
Do you know what? That really gives me palpitations. Like the start of the pandemic, everyone like living their lives, doing their thing, and then it just like the world crashed. We planned to launch into Sephora stores, so all across North America, like 400 doors, and it was our biggest investment to date. It was like $200,000 to get our products onto the shelves of Sephora, and I was like, this is it, guys. We've done it. This is it. Duh. 2 days later, pandemic, all the stores shut. Like, now what? Like, literally all our money's been plowed into Sephora, and now Sephora's shut. It was like, that was like a moment, like that gut of like, okay, this is over. So what do? We just got on Instagram. And me and my co-founder spent the next 3 months on Instagram Lives, drinking wine, literally drowning our sorrows, speaking to our community. What do you want to hear about today? Like, that she wanted to talk about skincare, like literally sat with a glass of wine, like, so how are we gonna do this? Like, what does this world look like? No one knew. Everyone was at home on their phones, like, cool, I'll join a live. And we just created this incredible community of people that all sat at home craving that digital content. But that moment of like, I think I've made it. Oh no, like literally my stock was locked in a Sephora store for like, what, a year and a half?
But I can echo that because I've had many hats on. So, you know, I've done a big brand, but 20 years ago. So my little capsule collection that I've got now, it was launched September 2019. So, you know, it's small. We only launched with 3 SKUs. Literally small. So it's not even like Colette that, all right, yes, it's going into Sephora and it's going into the US. They had some brand awareness. We knew about the Inculist. You know, they were in booth, they were in the UK. I've been to their press launches. Fantastic product, reasonably priced, all of that. So at least you've
She's
built.
selling it better than I am.
No,
Keep going,
you
please.
you had a road. You know, it was not starting. I pitched in front of lots of investors at the time when I came to the decision that I'm going to do this thing. But I want it smaller because I'm 60 years old now, and when I started my company, this small
That's
line.
skincare. You would never
know,
know
right?
I use
Wow.
Inky.
No, just take
I
a
use
moment.
some Inky.
Let that land.
But so this was when I was like 56, something like that, because I lost my mum when I was at the age of 50. Up until then, I was literally on a treadmill, just running. You just do. I'm a jobbing artist. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. You know, all of that. Mum, wife, sister, all of that. And then suddenly life kicks you and stops. And everyone's like, are you going to do something else? Oh, we love Ruby and Millie. What are you going to do next? Well, I'm not in the mood to do anything else. I'm grieving. I'm in pain. I'm in suffering. I feel like I'm orphan Annie at 50. Slowly, when 4 years ago, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'd like to do something. Yeah, I can feel a stir. I set it up small, nano steps. And then, by pure chance, I met Daniela Rinaldi, who used to be in charge of Harvey Nichols. She run the store. And I just went on some press thing, and then I was beside her, and I said, I don't suppose you'd ever consider taking my tiny brand, but, you know, it's going to get lost in these huge floors out here. And she just came round and put her arms around me, and she went, no, I only launched Aveda with you lot upstairs. I've only just launched Ruby and Millie with you here before Boots even did it. Why the hell would I take you on? She goes, are you mad? Of course, here. So she emailed me straight away. So we're in Harvey Nichols, and I'm a bit like Colette here thinking, I've got back into the doors, my heritage where I've started. Who the hell knew that 3 months later it's lockdown and not one person buys anything, and I have not even got a track record like they have. So I'm just sitting there going, you're a goner. Just let's see who we owe what with so that I've got enough money to, if it comes to it, I don't like owing anybody a penny. That I'll have to make sure, where's my savings, where's this, where's that. I even got to that stage where I'm thinking, okay, we've started, it's bad luck, let's just pay everyone off and move on. But somehow, like you say, you adapt. It was about social media, so I started doing the same things. Okay, let's do a bit of makeup on me then. Let's answer some questions, because I am an expert. You can use this product, and it wasn't all about my brand, but bits of everything, incorporate a bit of fashion, a bit of skincare, a bit of this, a bit of that, and you push it forward. And
There's authenticity that each of you found in everything you did, and rising to the occasion every time. I think being really real is what sets you apart, because your story is different than someone else's. And that seems like something that all of you completely prevail with and have a vision about. So is there anything that you wish someone would have told you as a young dreamer in the audience, perhaps advice that you wish you would have received?
Network. Honestly, I never really understood the power of a network. To Ruby's point, you know, those people that you meet along the way, you never know how powerful they are going to be for you. And when I say network, I don't mean like LinkedIn. Oh, hi, build a relationship, build that networking, be available to be able to help other people. If someone asks you to do something, like, be open, because you just never know when they are going to be useful in your life.
So true. So true.
I really, really wish that I'd learned that younger, because I think if I'd have learned that younger, my network would be even more powerful than it is now. And I don't know what I will go on to do next after skincare, but I'm excited of all the people I've met through my life. I can now turn to people and say, hey, give me a chance, or hey, do you fancy doing this together? So I genuinely would spend a lot of time like nourishing good relationships. Go for a coffee, go have a chat. You could literally meet anyone here and go have a chat, and I'm sure you can find something that connects you. Like Ruby and I was like, Ruby, do you know I used to work on your brand? She's like, what? Like, we didn't know, she didn't know that
I didn't know that.
Like,
I just
she just
knew
thought I was
Colette,
Inky.
the Inky founder, and I would see her at this press launch and that lot. But when she just said that to me at the bottom, at the back there, and I was like, she went, and I thought, look at that, and this is 20 odd years ago.
So network, build your network. Days like today are perfect.
Days like today are
Yes.
perfect, and that's what I love about the Glamhive community. That's my favorite thing that's happened with Glamhive is these events and enabling people to meet. I think, when I pivoted Glamhive, I thought, well, we need to somehow have celebrity involved. And I was like, is there such a thing as a celebrity stylist, I wonder? And so then I Googled celebrity stylist, and I came up with The Hollywood Reporter, and then I reached out to everyone. But I love that today you guys can meet Brian from Oprah, or you can meet Nicole Chavez, or anyone, Christian, anyone. I love it, because it does feel sometimes like, how do you meet those people? Because you can reach out on LinkedIn and stuff like that, but the network part is really important. That's the only good thing about getting older is like now everyone that I was younger with, they're all in charge of stuff. So I'm like, this is great. You're the CMO now? Rad.
Love that.
Created a community, and that feeling of community. And I remember I went to fashion school, and I heard that, and they would say, the teacher, network, and I'm like, that word, huh? Like, but I think what it really means is what you're saying as well, is it's connection and not being afraid to introduce yourself to someone, but also you don't have to talk to everyone in the room, but sometimes you're naturally drawn to someone, and I kind of watched the way that conversation sparked earlier with Ruby and Colette saying, oh, wow, I used to sell your products.
You were actually privy to it. You were
I
standing
really
there watching
watched it, and I was like, see, this is cool. This is why we're here today. So what is there something you wish that someone would have told you when you were starting out, Ruby?
God, there's many, many things, but I think the most important thing is that bit about trusting your gut. So there have been many times where if I have floundered or I've fallen or something, it's because I didn't have the confidence to really, it doesn't matter if a room full of people are telling, there's something about your brand or something about yourself or something, whatever that is, you do know best for you. I can't speak for everyone else, but I can speak for myself.
Yeah, trust your
and
instincts.
not to get bulldozed by that. So, and not to be a hard-ass bitch about it either. It's not that. But just knowing, you know what? No, I'm not going to be swayed by that. So just, if somebody had clearly told you that, because the outcome is good. And the other part of the networking thing I also want to say, and I think Colette touched on it, but we have to say that again. It's not just you stalkerish trying to find and network someone, but also be available yourself. Because I've had a long career, and there are people that come out of the woodwork, I don't know, and they say things, oh, you did that for me, or you did that. So you have to give of yourself to be able to get from somebody else something. So that networking part is not just you going to a coffee to dig into somebody else's brain, but be available yourself to have to give that to somebody somewhere, because then it does pay off, like Stephanie said later, that when they become the CEO of something else,
Knowing
they
that you
remember
have something to offer
you were
as well.
there. It's a chain. This whole life and all of it is a chain and links, and we are linked in some way, and you tap into it when and if you can.
And your superpower, like, this is really important, I think, and I think the last couple of years I've really understood what my superpower is. Because your superpower is very, very different to the person next to your superpower. Learn what that superpower is and max it out. in a room of people, if you can offer something that only you can offer, it might be just the way that you style, it might be the way that you talk to your client, it might be the way that you talk to your community. Find what your thing is and just absolutely go after it. Don't look around you and say, oh, well, they're doing it like that, maybe I should do it like that. Or I always got told when we launched the Inky List, and a lot of retailers were saying to us, oh, you're a bit boring, like, you know, you're all about spreading knowledge. Like, do you think you could just put a bit of colour there and like a bit of millennial pink? I think that'd be really cute. No, that's not our superpower. Our superpower is spreading the beauty of knowledge and getting people to feel empowered by understanding the ingredients for their skin. Because we knew that's our superpower, we've gone after that. We've gone after that in multiple ways, but do it for your personal brand as well. Like, just sit and think about what your superpower is, and you can use that for your brand, but you can also use that in your networking. So you can offer advice that only you can offer through your experience or through the way that you communicate. If you are a wonderful communicator, do you know how helpful that could be to somebody that maybe is a bit of an introvert and doesn't really know how to start connections? Like, work on that superpower and just literally go after it, because that's like your personal brand. And I would say that's something I've only started to hone in the last couple of years.
That's good. That's really good.
Superpower.
If everybody could leave today thinking about their superpower, I think the world would be in a much better place. So it's good
I'll
for it to start
provide the
here.
capes.
Well, I could ladies
But
who
it-
launch
but
all day long, but I
not-
think we want to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
So if there's any one of you beautiful people that has some questions, we are happy to answer them. Yes. Right in the front. Thanks, Jack.
Hi, my name's Misha, and
Hi,
thank
Misha.
you very much, ladies. I just wanted to ask you, like, being an entrepreneur and launching now, how has it, is it the same as you thought it would be, like pre-launch, being an entrepreneur, and if it's different from what you expected it to be? What do you actually do, like, on a day-to-day basis? Is it what you thought it would be, or is it different?
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's way harder and way less glam. Yeah, like, I thought having a skincare brand was going to be like, you know, everyone I see, other founders, they like prance around, nip to a press event, you know, be their thing. If I'm at a press event for my brand, I spend like 15 minutes talking to people, then I'm in the back trying to deal with cash flow issues, trying to stop Sephora from kicking off because I've not delivered something into store. Like, you are working on 50 things a day, and when I get on an Instagram live at 9 p.m. on a Monday night, I've done 14 hours that day, and I literally go straight from a board meeting to a live. It is utterly exhausting.
Doesn't it sound great?
You know what, guys?
On that note, sign me up.
I did preface that transparency would be what I would give, so it's bloody hard work.
Your question, the title or the word entrepreneur encapsulates, it's not just one, you know, it's like a little thing you have in the front of your desk. It encapsulates many, many roles you have to play. So in the beginning, you can almost be the boxer-upper, you know, you're nothing.
yeah.
You're still the entrepreneur, but you're it's got to get there. So if the Royal Mail has not delivered it for you, or your DHL has not delivered to you, you sort of look and you think, where's this address? Do you think I could go in an Uber and just give it to this woman because I need to fulfill this order? There are things where I am probably I've probably got an equal balance of commercial and creative. But they're both titles to make the brand function or to take your idea to somewhere, you know, it has lots of little slots. So it's not just, I'm the entrepreneur. Yeah, all right, good luck to you, entrepreneur. You've got to do many things before you can keep that title. And the things you're not good at. Although I did economics, I'm not good at looking at those spreadsheets and everything, but I have somebody I work with, that's what she's good at. I have a great grasp of the overall thing of my business. But those nitty-gritty I don't understand all the corporate laws and all the laws that you've got to do for this country, now in Europe, now in America, now in Japan, now here, now there. You get good people, or you pay those people to tell you, but I make the decisions, but I don't know every sphere of everything. And I think sometimes people think, I'm just a creative, I know how to do this really well, and they think that's the only thing they need to know. Entrepreneur doesn't just mean that. It means you take on lots and lots of different people. Even Stephanie said earlier, she mentioned by name, you know, her different key people in her company, in her mentorship, and just that support her. It all comes, yeah, I stand there, I'm the entrepreneur, but behind you it is about, small, I only have about 2 or 3. They probably have loads, and she has loads, but that's how it grows. You are just a figurehead for something, and different processes behind that.
So good luck. No, really.
Any other questions?
Thank you so much oh my, this is so scary. You guys are really brave.
What is your name?
My name's Ems.
Hi, Ems.
Hi, I'm a personal stylist and I work mainly within and like for the LGBTQ community. And I think I've just got a bit of a question around like if you're setting up a business and kind of making something quite niche, how can you kind of really like follow your gut, like you were saying, like really stay true to like your brand and what you do, but at the same time grow and expand? So I think that kind of there are challenges in like if it's a niche service, like your audience is smaller, kind of the people you can like collaborate with and network with seems like slightly narrower. So yeah, any advice that you've got around like staying really true to like who you are and what you do, but at the same time like growing also, if you have any advice around that, that would be great.
I think from a stylist perspective, just because now I feel like I get to talk to stylists every day, and you know, I'll email everyone like what Glamhive is about. But what I love about Glamhive for stylists is that we get together, you know, every month and do Zoom, so everyone can ask that question. So again, I'm not a stylist, but what I have learned is that you actually want to be niche. Like the stylists that have the biggest challenges are the one that say, I can style anyone. And then it's almost like you're styling no one. And so now what we talk about a lot is being very niche so that people are really clear about what you offer, you know, who you style. And so I think that that's actually a really good thing. And but you guys have all built really great.
It's about that thing of I'm definitely a niche brand. I'm so small now, and I'm just about to, because of the pandemic is lessening, and you know the doors are opening where there's a bit more travel. I'm going to consider, and I'm going to network and grab this lady if I can to say, excuse me, on the knocking of the Sephora doors. What do I do? You know, so even somewhere I have to do that because I am definitely niche. But the biggest thing is walk before you run. Yes, we have a game plan for that, but there are many, many people who have taken it and they overreach. So you must consolidate whatever it is you've got first and make yourself, you know, what's the word, solvent, so that you're able to take that next leap, and, you know, you plan for these things, and that is your intention and goal, but don't just, I hope it doesn't sound horrible, but I'll give you an example, and one is Glossier, the brand that everyone's heard of, right? Phenomenal. We must have all stood at the sidelines, you know, beauty especially, or any business. You stand there and you look at that and you think, wow, how they done, God, I wish. I don't have envy like that. I don't begrudge people their success, their hard work, their that. But you look at it and you think, damn, man, I wish some of that stardust would fall on me, a little bit of it. And then now you're beginning to realise they far it. I'm not doing them a disservice. It's out there. People know. She will bounce back, but there's a lesson there. So learn to walk. Have the plan in place, but consolidate what you have. Keep, you know, little and going in the right direction is better than I'm standing here. Work on your superpower, but we've not all got superpowers in that way that I'm going to stand here and I'm just going to go bing and I'm going to leap over there. There are always consequences.
Yeah, I think also coming from tech, everyone feels like everything is an overnight success. And there are some. But when you really dig into a lot of tech companies that have been overnight success, you will see that there's like 5-10 years behind them, you know, where they've, you know, so that's what's crazy about it, is you feel like if you haven't been successful very quickly, you know, somehow you've failed. But a lot of, you know, I'm sure everyone's seen Bad Blood or the Theranos story or We Crashed. And I remember starting Glamhive, Elizabeth Holmes was on the cover of every magazine. Do you guys know she was on the cover of every magazine. I'm like, gosh, she's a woman. She's like a billionaire. She's amazing.
I used to tear, although she, I used to tear every single one of her articles before I could look at them digitally, but I didn't. I'm still old-fashioned like that. I rip it out and I keep it in a little folder and I read when I can't sleep or I've got jet lag or on the plane. I think this is good reading. And then you just realise that, you know what? There's always hard work. It's not a magic wand. It's like a star or something. You've got to have your talent, you've got to have a good product, you've got to be prepared to put in the hard work. People don't become a superstar and just become a one-hit wonder. You have to sustain that to be a real, like Stephanie says, when you look at the back, nobody just came and then wow, now stay wow.
Be really relentless, I would say, on the on that superpower piece, because it's easy. It might be easy for you to kind of sell out. And I've seen a few friends that have had brands that have like launched into retail really quickly because they thought that would be like the best way to get reach. All it did is the retailer kind of diluted who they were. So I know it's hard to kind of feel like you're not growing fast enough. But if you keep that superpower and keep honing it and keep shouting that same message, like there's a consistency piece of like, you say your niche, but are you really clear on what the niche is and who you are and how you're offering something completely different? Because if you can just shout that message continually and louder and louder and louder, you will hit more people and you will build more of a community as long as you're dead crystal clear on what you are. But you could collaborate with the wrong person to get more reach, and that will be detrimental to you and your brand.
It's really good. Really good. Yes.
Hi, my name is Atusa. I'm a fashion stylist.
Atusa?
Yes.
Hi.
Thank you very much for today. It's really, really helpful for a stylist, I think. I just wanted to know, apart from networking, which other way you can meet new clients for personal shopping or fashion styling, apart from having website, Instagram, and networking? Is there any other way that you can actually say, these are the way that you can actually put yourself out there and get some more clients?
We have a panel today about TikTok, because Instagram is so big and now TikTok is so big. When I started my career, I was in radio advertising sales. And so I would sell, car dealerships or whatever, advertising. And what I think is, like, I'm so tired of my career. No, this is like,
your career is cool. That's
actually, I started out as a bank teller. I was a bank teller.
Get this woman a glass of wine, quick. Come on. We need this full story.
It's crazy. So what I love about social media, because I think there's crazy about social media, and then we're going to get into the metaverse later today. But
Fun day, guys.
What's amazing about social media is you basically have a radio station, a TV station in your pocket. Like it used to be, I'd call up a car dealership, and it was a million years ago, and so the minimum ad buy was probably $15,000 or $20,000. How many of you guys know how to do a promoted paid post to a target market on Instagram? Yeah, see, so you can spend $1 a day, not to make Mark Zuckerberg more money, but just $1 a day, you can start to do small bets and test, and you can build your network and run an ad. It's actually, I feel like it's the perfect time to be a stylist, because for so many reasons. One, because more people need to look as great as you guys do, and people want to look great. And I think that when you talk a lot about what you're really doing for people, which is transforming their lives, I think people think that you're shopping for them, and that's not what you're doing. You're making them like their shiniest version of themselves, which I love, and I think you should talk about that. Like, just shout it from the mountaintops. I feel like that's my why. My why is to support stylists, to make you guys feel connected and network and all that kind of stuff. But on the other side, it's to have women and men feel great. And I know that you guys are great at that, and I love that. So I think that social media is super powerful. And then I'll say something super boring, email marketing. How many of you guys have like a list of email? How many of you guys have reached out to everyone that follows you on Instagram and pulled down their email address? This is a magic thing right here. How do you get their email? You reach out to them. I have a question. How many people are here because you got an email from me? Everyone.
Oh, so you from Instagram?
So I go to LinkedIn, I go to Instagram, but so I'm old school. I started on the internet barely when it started. And so worked for an initial email company. Email is so powerful. Instagram is brand marketing. It's to make you look great. It's like the billboard in Times Square. But when you want to make money, email. So, I mean, I'm like Speedy Gonzalez. I don't even know what I am. Like when it comes to outreach, DM, like just hire an intern, do it yourself. Just go on to DM. Like, you know, hi, Stephanie, hi, Ruby. You know, I'm so-and-so. I would love to, I see that you follow me on Instagram. I'd love to send you some more information about my services. Be super friendly, and you just go after it. It's hard because you might have 5,000 followers or 10,000 followers. You can go to Upwork, upwork.com, find someone that's good at cultivating email lists. You can often find someone for $4 an hour from other countries, and you ask them to scrape the email. You can do this on LinkedIn. So in a way, it's like called growth. It's kind of like growth hacking, I guess, is what it's called. But email is so powerful, and so I love that everyone raised their hand because that's really how I was like, how Glamhive has never been in London. I have never been to London until Thursday, and so I was like, to be able to do this, I just want to invite people, and so I found everyone on LinkedIn, and I created an email list, and then I emailed everyone, and it's awesome. And give something away for free, or do an Instagram live, or do a free closet detox. Or it's not about doing things for free necessarily, but it's about inviting people into your world. So I'm just gonna say email marketing, and that'll be my mic drop.
Could not agree more. 10% of my revenue last week came from email.
How much?
10% of my revenue. But know that email is hard work. So keep going. Like, not many people open emails unless people click through to where you want them to click through. So just keep going. Like, think about it yourself. Even if you love a brand, you might open like 1 in 10 of their emails because we're busy, right? So like, be relentless on email. Once you've got their details, like, make it as exciting as possible. Think about the subject titles. Like, it's a craft that you'll learn. But what you need to do, and I always tell my team this, is like, learn. So like, if you got one email that you sent last week with like a snappy headline and no one opened it, okay, why didn't they open it? And how could I do a subject title next week that might be like, win with me, or have a personal conversation with me, or like, find the things that your audience are interested in and learn. So don't be like, oh God, only like 10 people open that email. Okay, why? Why didn't they? And how can I get 20 people to open it next week? Like I say, it's relentless.
And the great thing about a lot of independent stylists is that, I will say this also, the more beautiful our emails were, the less effective they became. 100%. Oh yeah. The more, and it's like, Glamhive should have beautiful emails. We're a style company. I'm like, look at the open rates. It went from 76% to 32%. It just means out of 100 people, 32 opened it when it was gorgeous, and 76 people opened it when it was ugly. And so, or just text, you know. And I think especially when you're starting out, if you're doing outreach, it's coming from you. And so then think about your superpower and just really connect with what you want to say to someone. Because I think the more you sound like a brand, the more people ignore you. And so you just want to sound like a person, especially when you have
Authenticity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And quality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do we have time for any more questions, Jack?
Yes. Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
please.
I found...
Jack, get up here. Come on.
I'm just going to step over here. So I found, because I work with Glamhive, and speaking to all the stylists, the thing that I found most of them have had the best success with is word of mouth. So treat every single job like it is the biggest celebrity, like it's the major campaign. Treat everything like that, and then people will want to refer you to their friends or the people in their network. That's a great way to grow your base. So, sorry, I don't...
No, that is a great one. And then do a lot of behind the scenes. A lot of people will do like a closet detox, and they'll film it, and they'll put it on stories, and then that will fire up your DMs. And then if you do a styling, have that woman or that man, especially if it's a woman, have a little cocktail party. I'm like, you can get 3 bottles of champagne for like, you know, $150 or something, invite people to their house, do a little get together. But it is very grassroots, I think, like that.
Jack,
still.
thank you for saying that, because I think that's something that's what the point of these days are for, these conversations are for, is to hear insider truth like that. And Jack is a perfect example of someone that will get booked again and again and again, because he shows up every time, 1,000%. And I think that that's the real piece of advice that is kind of stemming from this conversation, that anyone can apply to anything that they do. It's really true. One more question, please.
Hi there, my name's Nis.
Nis, right?
Nis,
Nis.
N-Y-S.
Hi, Nis.
Short for Nissa. I'd like to ask a question whilst we have kind of moguls, as it were, up here. Well, to us you are. We hear a lot from entrepreneurs such as yourselves about investment and investors. And there will be quite a few of us here who have had business loans or startup loans, for instance. But that gets us off the ground, that lets us test out our business, that lets us test out our business models, our products, etc. Makes sure that we've got products that are correct, that we're doing things correctly. And when we're learned our lessons, when we've got it right, when we're ready to take that next step and look for investors, where do we go? How do we do that? It's something that's talks about a lot, to get to the next level, to your levels, to be able to actually really grow properly. But it's something that I have to say I don't understand, and I wouldn't know where to go or how to do it. And also, what are the consequences of bringing in investors to your business? Obviously, they would have some sort of percentage, presumably. Is that something you could explain a little for us, please?
That's a big one.
That's that's massive.
Well, I can start
do
with
it just
just
in
a simple
a
one.
general overview.
But if
for
you're
us.
just starting, a lot of in the United States, sometimes you would look for a lead investor. So, usually, a lot of times, if you're starting, it starts with angel investing. So, there are companies that can start and just go right to the venture capital firms. I've never taken that route. I've worked mostly with angel investors, so people who invest in startup companies. And so for me, I found one person, and then that person introduced me to his network. Once that was done, and then I just kind of I've been raising like in tranches just over time, just because I'm running Glamhive. It's hard to stop and raise and take 6 months and raise capital. You just do a lot of outreach. My background is sales, and so cold calling. When you just you can't pick up the phone and no one answers their phone, but you just email people like crazy and just try to get really to the point of like why you're reaching out. But I don't know if they do this in England. I'm sure they do. They'll start up incubators. There are lots of more and more in the U.S. There are women that start venture capital funds. Carrie Colbert from Curate Capital is one of our investors. Cindy Eckhart from the Pink Ceiling Fund. These are great women to follow on Instagram. They give lots of great advice, but probably are at the point where you just will create a pitch deck, and it can be pretty formulaic. You can just Google startup pitch deck. There's a great one that Airbnb did. You can Google Airbnb tear down redo pitch deck, and it's a really great example of a bad one and then a good one. You want to have your pitch deck together, probably an executive summary, and then get as many no's as you can so that you can get to the yeses. And then you guys, I think, have probably raised institutional funds.
Yeah, but we've raised millions.
Yeah.
But what I will say is pay for support. And when we got our first round of funding, we basically got completely shafted because I didn't understand what I was giving away. And I didn't understand what they were taking. So I would say do as much reading as you can around percentages, if they're taking part of your company, what does that actually mean? But the legality of it, never ever, one piece of advice, never ever, ever, ever take money without proper legal advice, personal, not just for your business, but for what this means for you personally. And if you're not an expert in this area, don't try and fumble your way through. This is your life. And this is big. So I would say I wish I had got support from kind of people around me that understood finances and people that understood the financing industry, because you can get absolutely screwed. We gave up the majority of our company from day one.
Did you restructure, or is that still true?
Still true.
Still true.
So absolute number one fail. Don't give up your company. So I would just say bring in the experts, and it's going to cost you, but don't try and fumble your way through financing. Fumble your way through a lot in life. I have fumbled my way through a lot.
Yeah.
but financing is not the place to kind of go, oh, I'll meet some people and they'll offer me some money and I'll see which one I like and I'll take it. Bring in the experts.
I will supplement that. Things that like finance or legal issues. I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a banker. You know, I've studied economics, but that's not my big forte. But I do know and just go by yourself. You've got to spend, earn, it's got to work. You can't be spending more than you're earning, you know, or up to a point. Then things cannot just get money going out and nothing coming in. And somebody wants to back you, whether that's an institution, an angel, whoever they are, bank, your cousin, your mum. If your mum says, okay, I give that to you, and it's a present, it's not a loan, you need those words to be clear. Are they expecting their money back, or have they given it to you? Whoever it is on this world, they're going to need to see a return. If they're kinder, they'll say 2 months, 5 months, 1 year, 10 years, whatever. It's not your money to spend willy-nilly. You owe that to somebody. You've got to return it to somebody. So everyone says, I've got this great idea, I've got that. Yeah, but work out how, because every entrepreneur that exists, if they're not self-funding, I'm self-funded. I have to wait for the next stage there because there are terms that, you know what, it sounds great, they want to give me 10 million. What have I got to give them back for that? And as I said earlier, I'm 60 years old. I don't want to get till I'm 70 and my home, my car, my whole life of what I've built is at jeopardy because I don't know how to pay this back. So all those terms have to be, does it suit you? Have you got the bottle to take that amount of money? Because they're going to want it back.
I wish somebody would write a book about this, you know. Like, it wouldn't be me because I'm clearly a bad example. But I really wish someone would do like a investment for dummies, like just to really understand. Like, we've got 3 different types of funding in our company. I don't really understand most of it, honestly, because I bring in the professionals to do it. But like, there's so many different routes of like getting financing, not just investment. Like, there's really cheap, like different types of loans that you can get, asset loans. Like, there's loads of stuff you can do. I wish someone would like break it down and just give you those.
It's a book idea for you.
It is. I'm not sure I'm the best qualified, but definitely should be a book.
It's funny because I feel like in the United States, coming from the tech world, it feels like money just flies around, you know. So that's just kind of how it felt to me. It's not like it just flew in, but I didn't feel afraid of it. Probably, maybe I should have. I don't know. There's a lot I'm glad I didn't know. Actually,
I'm glad that you flew in from LA so we could do this panel
LA.
today.
Yes.
And it's been such a pleasure. And thank you, Well, do you want to keep going if you want? Like I said, I could launch all day with you, but it has been so nice to hear all of the expert advice from you ladies today. I feel inspired. I learned a lot, so I hope you all did too.
Yes, let's give these ladies a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Kelsey, Stephanie, Ruby, and Colette. What a pleasure. So now from ladies who launch to ladies who lunch, we are going to have lunch for all of you to do some even more networking, fuel up, because we have an incredible afternoon for you after this. And thank you so much. We'll see you back here in an hour.